quiet checkpoint on the edge of Ouagadougou was supposed to be routine. Security officers conducting their usual inspections, checking vehicles, verifying documents, making sure everything was in order. But on this particular day, what started as standard procedure turned into something far bigger. Something that would expose a plot authorities are calling one of the most dangerous threats to Burkina Faso in years. When officers flagged down an unmarked car with dark-tinted windows, they had no idea they were about to uncover millions of dollars in cash, illegal weapons, unregistered medicine, and evidence of a plan that allegedly reached all the way to the top of government. This is not just a story about smuggling. This is about power, betrayal, and a nation fighting to survive. The vehicle came to a stop. Inside were several individuals. None of them were citizens of Burkina Faso. Their passports showed they were from different countries. But what raised immediate alarm was what officers found in the back seat. Heavy bags filled with bundles of crisp $100 bills. $10 million in cash. Stacked, packed, and ready to be delivered. Alongside the money were crates filled with high-powered firearms, boxes of ammunition, and medicine that had no registration, no import papers, and no legal pathway into the country. This was not tourism. This was not business. This was something far more sinister. The suspects were arrested on the spot. The car was seized. But as investigators began examining the scene more closely, they found something else that changed everything. Phones. Dozens of them. Some brand new, still in their packaging. Others clearly used, with different SIM cards inserted. To trained intelligence officers, this was a massive red flag. When someone carries multiple phones with multiple SIM cards, it usually means they are trying to avoid being tracked. It means layers of communication, secret contacts, hidden conversations. And when authorities started tracing those numbers, what they uncovered sent shockwaves through the entire security apparatus. Several of the phone numbers belonged to people inside Burkina Faso, not random civilians. These were individuals who had already appeared in intelligence reports. People suspected of sympathy toward foreign interference. People who, according to early findings, had been involved in discussions about removing Captain Ibrahim Traore from power. Suddenly, this was no longer just about smuggling. This was about destabilization. This was about a coordinated effort involving foreigners and locals working together to bring down a government. Authorities now describe what they found as a carefully planned network. The foreigners were allegedly tasked with bringing in the weapons and the cash. The illegal medicine was possibly meant to cause panic or undermine trust in local healthcare systems. The $10 million in cash, investigators believe, was designed to fund chaos. Bribes for officials, payments to recruit people willing to commit acts of sabotage, financing for covert operations aimed at creating unrest. Security experts point out that $10 million can sustain destabilizing activities for months, even years, especially in a country already dealing with security threats from armed groups in the northern regions. Captain Ibrahim Traore has become a symbol of resistance against foreign control. Since taking leadership, he has pushed back against external military influence, worked to reclaim national resources, and asserted Burkina Faso's right to make its own decisions. These actions have made him popular among many citizens who see him as a defender of sovereignty, but they have also made him a target. There are powerful interests that benefit from instability. There are groups that profit when nations remain weak and dependent, and now it appears some of those forces may have tried to move against him. The recovered phones contained messages and call records that investigators say point to discussions about neutralizing Traore's leadership. The exact details have not been made public, but the implications are chilling. Was this a plot to overthrow him politically? Was it an assassination attempt? Or was it meant to trigger widespread civil disruption that would force him out of power? Authorities are still piecing it together, but one thing is clear. This was not a random crime. This was planned. This was funded. And this was aimed at the heart of Burkina Faso's government. Security forces have now launched a nationwide operation to track down every local contact linked to the arrested foreigners. Names are being compiled. Surveillance is underway. Interrogations are happening behind closed doors. The stakes could not be higher. Because if this network is as deep as investigators believe, then more people are involved. More plans may still be in motion. More threats may still be waiting. Citizens across the country are praising the vigilance of the security forces, but many are also asking a harder question. If this group was caught, how many others are out there that have not been caught yet? For now, many details remain classified. The exact nationalities of the arrested individuals have not been disclosed. What is known is that counterintelligence teams are working around the clock to follow the trail. They want to know who ordered this operation, who paid for it, who else inside Burkina Faso was ready to receive these weapons, this cash, and this medicine. A senior security official said publicly that the investigation is far from over, and that every part of this network will be dismantled, no matter how deep it goes. This incident is happening at a critical time for West Africa. The Sahel region is already facing armed insurgencies and growing rejection of certain foreign military presences. Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, has taken a firm stand on sovereignty. These governments have cut military ties with former colonial powers and worked to strengthen regional security cooperation. But bold moves like these can make governments targets. The arrests in Ouagadougou are not just a local success. They are a warning that foreign interference remains an ever-present danger. Experts are now mapping possible scenarios. This could have been a self-contained group stopped before they could execute their plan. Or this group was part of a larger, coordinated operation with more cells still active. Perhaps these arrests only scratch the surface of a deeper infiltration effort designed to destabilize the government ahead of key political events. Whichever scenario is correct, the lesson is the same. Vigilance cannot stop. Threats are real and ongoing. In the coming days, the suspects will face interrogation under strict national security protocols. Charges could include illegal possession of weapons, smuggling, conspiracy, and possibly even treason if local accomplices are proven to be involved. Digital forensic teams are analyzing every phone, every communication linked to the group. Authorities are also working to trace the origin of the $10 million, a task that could reveal foreign sponsors funding destabilization efforts across the region. For ordinary citizens in Burkina Faso, daily life continues. But there is an awareness now of what could have happened if this plot had succeeded. This is about a nation that refuses to be destroyed from within. This is about security forces who stood between their people and those who would bring darkness. But one question remains. How many more plots like this are out there waiting? And when the next one comes, will the country be ready? If you want to stay informed about what is really happening across Africa, subscribe to One Africa right now. Share this story with everyone who needs to understand the fight for sovereignty happening across the continent. Hit that subscribe button and join our community as we bring you real-time updates on the leaders, movements, and forces shaping Africa's future. This is history unfolding, and you need to be part of it.